Hey guys, I am so excited to finally do this video. It has been such a long time that I've wanted to share all this stuff with y'all because I'm a big supplement person. So once I started being TTC, or started TTC, that's really hard to say. Once I knew I needed to get all of my reproductive stuff healthier, not that it was like, I don't know how like unhealthy it was per se, but I just knew I needed to get it like in the best shape possible. I started doing supplements. And then once it wasn't happening for several months, I started changing supplements, like doing different stuff like kind of every month. So I wanted to show you all of the stuff that I was doing the month that I actually got pregnant. So, a little bit of backstory if you don't already know. I got pregnant in August. Before that, I was having a lot of endometriosis symptoms. Don't know if it's confirmed, but pretty sure I have endometriosis because I've always had super painful periods, and this past like year or so, it was like gotten worse. And I don't know if some of that might have been like because of the stuff I was taking, not necessarily to make it worse, but some of these things can thicken your lining of your uterus. So if you have endometriosis and it's thickening in places that it's not supposed to be and growing in places it's not supposed to, that's going to thicken as well. And then when it has to come out, that's going to cause more pain. So it might have been because of some of the stuff I was taking that caused more pain. Not necessarily making it worse per se. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I'm going to go ahead and go through. I'm going to try to like segment these up because there's a lot of stuff that I was taking for like the endometriosis pain and symptoms anyway. And then stuff that I was taking for specifically TTC. So I'm going to start with the stuff that I was taking for the endo symptoms. I also asked my cousin, who is like a herbalist and makes her own stuff, very knowledgeable about all that, about what I could take for all of that. And a lot of this was from her suggestion as well. So all of this is good for like hormonal reproductive health anyway. There's two other things that I'm going to wait to talk about that she also suggested to me because those were like, I think, big game changers. I don't know for sure, but I'm just gonna wait. So the first thing is a omega supplement. I did not take these every day because I did not realize that these are freaking huge. And it's hard for me to take supplements sometimes. And yeah, these are pretty massive. If you have a hard time swallowing stuff, it's not great. So an omega, all that good stuff. This was a nice brand. It's huge. So if you don't have a problem swallowing stuff, this would probably be fine. It has omega-3, 6, 9, all that stuff. I was taking this most days. So this was something I was taking regularly, just not every single day. So there's that. I don't know if this was a suggestion from my cousin, but I had been taking this for like several months anyway. And this is Maca. It's a herb, I believe. But this is a big one in the TTC community when you start looking into supplements, is Maca. A lot of people swear by Maca. It wasn't like a game changer for me. It's good to like help boost your fertility, but I had been taking it for like months before actually getting pregnant. So I don't think this really was that much of a game changer, but who knows if like all of this stuff was kind of working together. So I'm just going to mention everything anyway. Next thing, milk thistle. This is great for your liver, that was hard to say. And I don't remember what else it's good for, but milk thistle is just like a great supplement to take in general. And then I was taking it for the endo stuff too. Another one I was taking is ashwaganda. It's hard to say. Keep in mind too, most of these I stopped taking after I ovulated because some of it can interfere with either implantation or when the embryo actually sticks. So I didn't want anything to affect that little baby if there was going to be one. So I stopped taking most of this stuff from when I ovulated. The milk thistle I still took like a couple days after, because milk thistle is like, I feel like less extreme than like some of the other stuff. So it's a little bit more mild, but I just kind of used my own judgment. I don't know if it would have affected anything, but just in case. So yeah, ashwaganda, good stuff. And if you want to know more details about each herb, you can look into it. I'm just trying to like breeze through them. I was also starting to take Motherwart. I don't remember what this is necessarily good for, but yeah, started taking this. I just like put some in my drinks. But yeah, that's all the stuff that I was taking from, that I was kind of taking before, but then I all like added back in. That's all the stuff that I was taking like for the endo stuff that also happened to be good for like hormonal stuff in general. So yeah, then I'm going to show you guys, oh, this is another one, is evening primrose oil. This is another hugely talked about supplement in the TTC / hormonal realm anyway. I hadn't taken this before because I was a little cautious about it, because I've heard it can like mimic estrogen in your body if you have like a lot of it. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I had heard, so I hadn't really like had a lot of it. But I was taking it from the time I got my period until the time I ovulated. Did not take it after, because then when you're pregnant, it's not recommended to take this. Some people don't recommend to take it at all. So I didn't want to take this and risk anything happening to affect implantation, all of that good stuff. So I only took this for half of the month. A lot of these were like that. I think the only thing that I kept taking was the omega, the milk thistle. I took a couple of Maca maybe, but then I stopped. And then I'll show a couple other things too. But yeah, evening primrose, I would just take 1 or 2 a day. That's pretty much it. And then I also added a prenatal DHA, just in case. This also has like omegas and all that stuff. So if it was hard to take the other one as much as I should, I was taking this one too. Like I said, I wasn't taking this every day, but I was kind of alternating between this one and the other one. Just in case I happened to have gotten pregnant, I was already taking some DHA. So there is that. I need to start taking this again because I completely stopped. Once I got pregnant, I was awful about actually taking supplements because I was so sick. So yeah, I needed to start taking this again. I also added in a methylfolate for if I did get pregnant, just in case. Folate is really great for baby development. A lot of times in prenatals you get folic acid, which is like the synthetic version of folate. So I wanted like the more natural version of it. Some people can't absorb folic acid. Not everyone's like that, but just in case, I had an extra folate going in my system. These two things were, I think, probably one of the biggest things that impacted me for TTC. I don't really know. It's just kind of a feeling. But these I had not taken before. And these were like brand new that month is when I started taking them. Had not tried them before. But yeah, there's a lot of factors that probably went into it. But I want to give credit to these because these are great for hormonal health. And I think they can make a huge difference. So, enough that I've hyped everything up. I was taking raspberry leaf. I was already taking this before, like in tea form, but these are actual like capsules with the herb in it. So I was making tea. I had been drinking raspberry leaf tea since before TTC for hormonal stuff anyway. So I don't think like just adding raspberry leaf in general is what did it. I think because I was actually getting the herb in my body rather than just the tea. I think I was getting like a bigger dosage, but I did keep taking this after ovulation a little bit, but only like a few days probably. And then I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and stop just in case. If you're already taking the tea and it's not really making a difference, you could try switching to the supplement where you get 900 milligrams. And I was taking probably 2 a day, I would say. And in that same brand, I started taking Vitex. Vitex is a little controversial sometimes in the like traditional realm. It's like pretty praised on like the more holistic route if you're into that kind of stuff, which I obviously am. So it says you can take 1 capsule 2 to 3 times daily for 8 to 12 weeks. So it doesn't recommend you take it for like long periods of time. Maybe that has something to do with it. I was probably taking like 2 a day, but Vitex is chaseberry, I think. This is super great for hormonal stuff too. And I've heard, not sure if there's like much fact to this, but I've heard that like some people who have had trouble actually ovulating take Vitex and that helps them actually ovulate. So could look into that. I don't know. I think I was already ovulating, so I don't think that was the problem, but Vitex is a pretty like strong herb, so that might be why it's like a little discouraged sometimes. But yeah, that's what I was taking. Lastly, I'm going to show my multivitamin / prenatal I was taking. I had been taking prenatals for actually probably like a year at this point, because I was already taking them before we were TTC, just as a multivitamin. So for the most part, I was taking the Smarty Pants organic prenatals. But then I started having some like, I guess like side effects from taking them for so long and not really needing such high doses of stuff, that I kind of stopped and I switched to just a regular multivitamin, just like the Vitafusion women's multivitamin. Because if you take prenatals for too long and you don't need them, it can cause some like side effects and stuff. And I was getting some of those side effects, like headaches, dizziness, stuff like that. And that was the only thing that I had been taking for like long term. So yeah, if you're taking them for a long time, just like watch out for that. And then if you need to, just switch to a multivitamin. If you're not taking a prenatal for the first like few weeks of being pregnant, like the baby's gonna be okay. So that's just what I changed. So that's all supplement wise. I was also taking the Pink Stork fertility tea. I wasn't taking this religiously, and I don't think it really made that much of a difference. It was a tasty tea that I knew was safe for trying to get pregnant. But again, this I stopped after I ovulated, like most of these things. One of the biggest things that I think had the most impact was starting to use the Young Living Progressence Plus oil. There are so many stories of women using this and it totally boosting their fertility. I think this probably made a big impact because there is natural progesterone in here from like yams or something. I don't remember. But yeah, natural progesterone. I was using this twice a day for most days. And I used this after ovulation because it had progesterone and not something that was like estrogen mimicking. So your progesterone needs to be like a certain level to actually get pregnant and stay pregnant. So I figured it wouldn't hurt. So I was taking it until I found out that I was pregnant. So I was just like putting it on my wrist. I always recommend this to people who are TTC or having hormonal issues because it is so good for that. And it has such great oils in it. But the biggest thing I think is the actual like progesterone that's in here that can be so beneficial. So there's that. And you don't even have to get like Young Living. I just like using their stuff. But there's some like other brands out there that are similar. So the first thing is this little guy. This is a homeopathic remedy. If you're not familiar with it, you can look it up if you want. But I started taking Sepia. And my mom like is a part, she just takes like homeopath like classes or whatever, and she has like a whole like, she has more access to like more information than just like online. So after figuring out like what remedy would be most beneficial for the endometriosis pain and symptoms and all that stuff, she came up with Sepia. Sepia is really good for like hormonal stuff. I'm not going to say it works for everybody because everyone, like, remedies are so specific. So that's why it's like good to like seek advice for it if you're like not sure how all of that works, or at least like get a book or something, because they can, like, if you get the wrong one, it's not going to do anything. They don't have like side effects, but they're also like super specific that it just take a while to find the right one. So if you're looking into homeopathic stuff, find someone who is a homeopath or something like that to figure out what you actually need instead of just like guessing at it, because that could take a while. So I started taking Sepia just a couple times a day, and homeopathic remedies are crazy because there's no side effects. They're literally like just little pills that you stick under your tongue and they dissolve. You don't feel any like crazy effects from them, and they work. Like, if you have no experience with homeopathic stuff, like, it's crazy. If you get the right one, like, it's awesome. So I started taking that a couple times a day, and then I stopped up until ovulation. Last thing, which I think if you're a female, you should be doing this because it is so good for you, is steaming. I have talked about steaming with so many people. It looks like a bag of weed, but I promise it's not. So you're probably wondering, like, steaming what? And if you're wondering hormonal stuff, steaming, you can probably guess right. It's steaming down yonder. So, which sounds really weird if you're not familiar with it. But in one of my TTC groups, the creator of this brand reached out to me and asked if I had tried steaming before and thought it could be beneficial for me. I got like a whole like consultation from her and all that, and she was telling me about her experience, and I'm like, hey, it can't hurt. You're not putting anything up anywhere or doing anything crazy like that. It's just like a facial, but like for your vagina. So I was like, you know what? It can't hurt, so why not? And it's not like it's super expensive or anything. I think it was like $20 or $30 or so for this bag, but it was like filled up. So this was only from 1 month of using it because I used it religiously, like every other day. So, because she said you can use it as much as you want. So I was using it every other day. And on days that I didn't use it, I missed doing it because it was like so relaxing. But it has, this is just the universal blend, which she recommends starting with. This is the BU Beauty brand. It's hard to say, but I'll link the Instagram below where you can find it. It's really important that you get like a good recipe, or you get someone who's like making it, because if you have the balance off, that can affect your hormones in a negative way. So herbs can be very beneficial, but you also like need to know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you need to find someone who knows what they're doing. So that's why I just went with a like pre-made one that someone had already like did all the right measurements for, and I didn't have to worry about that. It actually smells really good when you're like brewing it, I guess. So what you do is you boil some water, and then once it was boiling, I would cut it off, put like a handful of herbs in here. You don't have to measure it because it's all measured in there, but it said take a handful of herbs with 4 to 5 cups of water, bring to a boil. But I would always boil it first because I didn't like the idea of like boiling the herbs, because I didn't want it to lose any of like the healing stuff. So I would just wait until it was already boiling, and then I would just put it in there, put the lid on it for like 5 minutes. Then I would put it in like a small pot too, nothing crazy. Or I would put it in a bigger pot and then transfer it to a smaller pot. But then, because you can buy like little seats for steaming, so you don't have to sit over a pot. But I was like, oh well, if it doesn't work the first month, maybe I'll get a seat or whatever. But you can do that. It's a little pricey. I just used a pot, and I'll tell you how I did that to not like burn myself. So I would take the pot and I would put it on like hot pad or something, sit it on my floor, and then I would roll up hand towels and I would put it all around. Hey guys, sorry, I didn't realize the video cut out, so I had to film this separately. But yeah, I was basically just saying I roll up like hand towels and I put them around the top of the pot, and I literally just sit like on the pot. So yeah, I kind of have to get a little creative with it, but it was definitely worth it. And I would just sit there and like watch TV for like half an hour to like 50 minutes. I would sit there as long as the water was still warm because it was like so relaxing. So that's what I did, and I know it sounds a little bit weird if you've never heard of it or never tried it, but it definitely helped my pain that month, and I can't help but think that it probably helped get this little girl here as well. You can definitely look into it. I'll put the Instagram below that I got it from, but yeah, I definitely recommend steaming to anyone who is either having hormonal issues or trying to get pregnant or literally anything. It's amazing. So not sure if I can contribute like I said, like any of this stuff. I don't know if there's one like specific thing that like helped me the most get pregnant, but I just wanted to share everything that I was doing that month just to let everybody know, because when I was trying to get pregnant, I was trying everything and looking at all of these kind of videos. So yeah, I hope you guys like this, and I will talk to you later. Bye.